do thumbnail poses, so.
Too late.
No, you can do, man, no one's here yet.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. How do you want to do these?
Like one where it's like sad, there's gotta be a sad one.
Because
we're looking now
because our girlfriend's getting cheated on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sad. Maybe what's another way to look sad? Oh. Let me burst into tears.
I think I pulled it off personally.
Then one, I don't know.
I was being excited and happy.
Fuck you. People don't want to see us be happy. This is YouTube.
Oh yeah, people hate that shit.
Happiness is.
Yeah, nobody wants to see us ever being happy. Wait, what are you trying to do?
I don't know. Good question. We're doing the thumbnails, guys.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
This is behind the scenes peak YouTube. This is how it goes.
Yeah, peak YouTube.
Can we do like an exaggerated silver? What's it called? Hey, seduce the camera. I'm getting turned on. I gotta
yeah,
stop.
I'm turning myself on.
That's a problem. I have that issue too. Yeah. I often do. Maybe like confused, surprised. Yeah, surprised. We never do that. What? Oh no. Surprise. Okay. Hopefully that's enough.
Should we look in the same direction? We're surprised.
Maybe we shouldn't. Somehow we lost our viewer. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why they didn't want to see that.
Well, I think the whole point of us doing on this channel is that nobody sees this video, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Not too many people.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what we're going to talk about in this video is how to have a perfect first date every time. And what I would say, I'm curious your experience, but for me, I'd say about a good 75% of first dates end in, a moment of mutual bliss, if you will. That's the censored way to put it. Something like that. And some of the ones where we don't hook up, it's because I don't like them. They're annoying. They start talking about, how men abuse, someone abused you. That's bad. But how men like mistreat them and how their ex-boyfriend was, and that turns me off. Yeah. But more often than not, I do end up hooking up with the girl. Even if they'll say like, we're not going to have sex, 30 minutes later, they'll say, are you going to fuck me or are you a beta bitch? Like I'm able to get them to eventually change their mind most of the time. And I would guess that's true for you as well.
Well, the reason a girl even says that doesn't want to have sex, she even does this on Tinder, because a lot of guys, they try to rush into sex immediately, and they don't understand that a girl does not get attracted the same way a guy does. So they try to rush into the shit, trying to like trying to take her home. Because like if I liked a girl, I thought a girl was attractive, I try to fuck her immediately. So if she finds me attractive and matches me on Tinder, then that must be the same thing. We're just meeting up to mutually high five, make sure that we both are attractive, so that I can take her back home, which is not what's going on. So the girl wants to like put the brakes on it a little bit and tell the guy that might potentially be that guy, hey, look, we're not rushing into sex right now. We're trying to take our time. And so that's the reason a girl puts it on her profile, not because she doesn't actually not want sex. It's more more to set the standards and more set the tone for the date.
So yeah, most women are open to having one night stands. We don't live in the Victorian era.
No.
And they're not really religious. They have no logical hangups about it that they used to. Mm-hmm. But as a man, sex is guaranteed to be better than neutral pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? You're probably going to finish unless you got, bigger issues. Or actually smaller issues if you think about it. But you're probably going to be able to have a decently good time, even if, the girl doesn't really know what she's doing. Mm-hmm. However, the opposite is not true. If a girl has sex with a guy who does not know how to give her pleasure, does not know how to focus on her, understand how female arousal works, things like that, then it's actually a net like negative. It's like, that wasn't really good. I didn't, climax. I didn't, he just got his and I didn't really get anything out of it. And so that's why a lot of women don't have sex on the first date, because they can sense based on the way the guy communicates, the way the guy acts, the way he's pushy, all these things, that he's not going to give her what she wants. But if a guy is good in bed,
Mhm.
then he's actually going to give the girl far more pleasure, far more out of the experience than a guy could ever get. Because look, I wish, but we can't have 7 orgasms in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that might be kind of fun though. To be fair, uh, in terms of dating though, I think a lot of guys they follow the usual tropes of going on the same types of dates, movie dates, dinner dates. You like dinner dates. I don't personally. I think dinner dates make a person tired if they're too carby. Dates where you take a girl on where they're high in carbs are gonna make her tired. Are gonna make you tired. Is gonna bring energy down on the date. And a lot of things about date is about momentum. So in terms of dating, dinner dates for me personally, movie dates, things where you can't interact or talk, I don't like. I prefer dates that are one, something away from food, and two, something that might be even physical. So taking a girl to go play pool.
Mm.
A lot of times girls can't play pool, so they're like, I don't know how to play pool. Then you say, I'll teach you.
And then you get to she's bending over and
Yeah,
you get to guide her arms. That's a good one.
exactly.
A
Yeah.
classic. A classic.
Uh-huh. Or my favorite thing to do is take a girl on a hookah date. But the reason for this being is actually a little bit more complicated. I like taking a girl on a hookah date because I will take
It gets her used to blowing, right?
Yeah,
Sucking and blowing. That's
yeah,
smart.
it's a subconscious. No. So I like taking girls to the same date every single time. Now, a lot of guys are gonna be like, but don't everybody see you taking girls on dates to the same place every single time? Yes, and that's the point. So I'll take girls on dates to places where there's attractive girls, where I can make best friends, people I tip well. And then over time, the girls that work there will see me on dates with girl after girl after girl. And then they start flirting with me. And then when I take a girl on date there, I act like I don't notice the girl flirting with me. And now pre-selection gets started, which if you know what pre-selection is, girls get attracted to guys that are liked by other women. And it's a really quick way to speed this up. You take a girl on a date somewhere where there's other attractive girls flirting with you, she's going to be more likely to also start flirting with you. Because now she's like, well, everybody else is flirting with him. He must be an attractive guy. He must be a cool guy. He must be a bad motherfucker. He must be the guy that I should be dating. So my personal thing is wherever you are, whatever city is, go somewhere where you can go consistently. Low carbs, preferably somewhere you can get physical really fast. Hookah is not really ideal, but for me, I go there to work too. My favorite place is to go to this hookah lounge in Vegas, and I work there. I sit down at work, and I have extra time. And if a girl doesn't show up on a date, I'm cool with that because I get to just continue working. So it's completely relevant if she shows up or not. I'm gonna keep doing my shit, which again is a guy being on his purpose. So it's still attractive no matter what. I can tell the girl to show up whenever because I'll just be working. So she shows up late, be like, dude, I don't care, I'm working. And so then it's like, it's a guy on his purpose. I don't care if he show up or not. I'm gonna keep doing my shit.
Okay. I don't usually go on dinner dates. I don't think that's the best date.
Mhm.
It's better than a movie or some kind of show where you can't really interact. So it can work. And there are some girls, like from certain cultures, where they have a feeling that they want to be treated and they want you to like buy stuff for them before they have sex. So with
Yeah,
that type of girl, I would say, like for example, in general, black girls tend to be more like that.
yeah.
I don't know why that is. I mean, but that's what I've noticed. They tend to be more likely like to want you to buy them something before they hook up with you, right?
It's a Cardi B culture.
Yeah, maybe. But so in some cases that can be good. I don't think it's the best date. I think the ideal date is either just coffee, walking around a park, somewhere where you can interact, you can
Mhm.
talk, it's low investment, it's very chill, it's a public area so she feels safe and comfortable, not like hiking in the middle of nowhere. um that one doesn't usually work. If it does, you might want to be worried yourself if she's like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go to the middle of nowhere. That sounds fun. And so anywhere where it's somewhat public, casual, and easy to just have a conversation. Um, the other good date is something that's an activity, especially if you're in a tourist city, because asking a girl who doesn't live in Vegas to go to coffee is not as compelling when she's in a tourist mode, right?
Mhm.
She wants to actually be going on adventures and doing all the touristy things, and she has a limited time here. So I'll often either invite a girl to a museum because I'm fancy like that. A museum, the Ferris wheel. There's the tallest Ferris wheel in the country
Yeah. And
in
there's liquor
Vegas.
involved if you get the right one.
Yes, and
Open bar.
yeah, and there's bars in each one. And then there's one other one, like mini golf or an arcade or something like
Mhm.
that. Something where it's physical, so it is more high energy, and that energy helps the date. And also, it's something where you can have a conversation. It's not too high investment. It's not too serious. And then once you've chosen the location, the next step is like, how do you make it sure that the girl trusts you? There's comfort and that there's enough sexual tension for her to want to go home with you.
Actually, somebody just mentioned something in the comments right here that just made me recognize something and realize something I haven't mentioned yet. Never called a date. Never use the word date because it sets off. So anything that's going to set off. So girls already feel so much pressure on coming on a date, and they feel like there's a lot of expectations to showing up something like this. And I find that using the word date will make the girl less likely to show up because now it's a lot more pressure. The girls are playing to, so a lot of guys want to convince a girl to hang out with them by selling her on this amazing idea of hanging out. You sell a girl not on how amazing something is, you sell her on how low risk it is. And by calling it a date, you put a lot of pressure on it for her to, for there to be expectations. So you say, hey, let's go do this. Let's hang out. Just never use the word date. Using the word date will add a lot of pressure to her coming around. She won't do it. To get a girl on a date, you want to make it as low pressure as humanly possible. It's actually why that's how you lower your flake rate.
Mm-hmm.
You lower the flake rate by coming across like a guy that's very socially intelligent, empathetic, cool as fuck, doesn't need anything from her, and is very abundant in life. And that will lower the risk of a girl not showing up. And if you want to actually check to see if a girl will or will not show up, text her beforehand. Text her 2 to 3 hours before the date and tell her you'll be 10 to 15 minutes late. By doing this now, if she doesn't respond, now you know she's not showing up. But if she does say, oh, no worries. Oh, no, that's fine. Now you know that it's not, now you know that she's actually going to show up on the date. And it comes across as a very non-needy way of asking. You're not texting her, are you showing up? Are you sure you're showing up? Because the act of asking her if she's going to show up or not makes it seem like you've been flaked on before, which is low status, which means the girl is going to be more likely actually to flake on you by you asking, is she going to flake or not?
Okay, so back on to the actual date, though.
Yeah.
When you're on a date, how do you make sure that she has the right emotions, she has the right experience to where she's down to get naked later?
I on a date, I'll treat a girl like a best friend, but with sexual and masculine intent and energy. But you also want to come across like you are being, if you can't do this, like, so I actually have a list of things that I look for in a girl and I will mentally judge her on, but you want to get an idea of what kind of girl you like. I'd make a list. By doing this too, you'll come across as if you are on your heels on the date. A lot of guys, when they're on the date, they're trying to convince the girl to like them. That's not what you're trying to do. You are already of value. You want to assume she already likes you. And by assuming she already likes you, she will like you. Assuming attraction. By assuming attraction, the girl will become attracted. You are an attractive individual. Now, is it that you like her or is it not? I've had so many girls show up on a date trying to get me to say in some way, you're just trying to fuck me, aren't you? And my response is classically, I don't know yet. I don't know you. We just started talking 10 minutes ago. And the girl usually snaps to attention and stops playing those kind of stupid games where she's all insecure and whatnot. The girls, sometimes girls, they need to feel like they went through. The reason a girl wants to go on a date to begin with is she wants to see that you're a cool guy, you're a high value guy, and you're consistent, high value, high quality guy. Because most guys fake that energy. You're not actually the guy they're presenting themselves as. So you want to be able to set yourself up as that individual that is that guy, and you want to become that guy, not just faking it, but become that guy consistently. Then from that place, you want to screen the girls out. What kind of girl do you want? And by looking for that in a girl, you'll find her, and you'll also make the girl chase you on the date because you'll subconsciously be looking for that girl. You also want to find somewhere close to your place, ideally, and have a reason to take her to your place. We have a balcony. At my old place, I had a balcony I would take girls to before I'd take them back to my place. I'd even offer to smoke weed. Smoking weed was a really good reason to take girls home with me. Or I would take them to the Hookah lounge right around the corner from my place. There's walking distance from my spot. There's a lot of reasons to take a girl to your place. You just have to find a good reason to do it other than having sex. You cannot say want to have sex. It's why the whole Netflix and chill jokes started coming about until Netflix and chill became synonymous with you want to fuck. Then it's no longer a good thing to do. But before that, it was the move. And that's why it was a big joke.
Okay. So as far as when a date starts, there's a couple things that I focus on. The number one that no one would think of, and it's going to sound kind of weird, but it has gotten amazing results, is when I'm looking at the girl, I imagine her naked. I imagine hooking up with her. I imagine her taking off her clothes and saying, please fuck me, or something like that. I imagine things that get me in a sexual state, because when you're in a sexual state, she feels that spark, the butterflies in her stomach. Like, where does that come from? It's a transfer of emotions. And she's probably not going to do it to you in most cases, unless she's just, really sexually open. You have to spark that. And the main reason that a girl says, "Oh, I didn't feel the connection. I didn't feel the vibe. We could be friends though." There was no sexual energy coming from your end. Right? Maybe you said sexual things, but there was no genuine sexual intent in the way that you looked her in the eyes, in the energy that you projected. She didn't feel it. So you should be turned on at points throughout the date. And you can tell whether you're turned on, right? And look back to your dates, you might be realizing, wait, I'm never turned on in my dates. I'm just having a nice conversation and thinking logically, how do I move the chessboard forward? The chessboard will move itself forward when she's aroused, right? It's going to be very easy. So that's the simplest way to spark attraction, is strong eye contact with that intention behind it, where you're thinking sexual thoughts, where you could think in your mind, I want you, right? I want to fuck you. Think things like that. That energy gets projected, and then a lot of the rest of it takes care of itself. Then like nature takes first.
Well, okay. I'll leave it with this on this note. If you want to be better on dates, one, go on more dates. That sounds so stupid. Like, it sounds like such a stupid thing. But if you're not good at dates at first, it's just practice makes perfect. You also want to get yourself out there in terms of talking to girls in cold approach. If you don't know what cold approach is, our channels have way too much content on this. It's about getting yourself out there and practicing your social skills. If you're uncomfortable on a date, it's because you're not very good at the game aspect of it. If you want to take girls on dates and want to be better at that, you want to just get yourself out there and start talking to girls in cold approach situations more often. And then you're dating, your ability to take a girl home from a date improves tenfold. It gets so much easier as your game gets better. I'll leave it on that for myself.
There's one other thing I want to bring up. The biggest reason that guys don't pull from dates and that nothing happens is they never invite the girl back home at all. Right? Now, it's ideal to have an excuse. Let's smoke is a good one. What are other ones? I have ping pong. I have battleship. You can say, let's play a drinking game. Let's play truth or drink. Anything like that. It doesn't have to be complicated. Any of those can work. Let's watch a TV show, Netflix and chill. Those all work. But a lot of guys, their goal in their mind when they go on a date, I got to get the kiss, the goodbye kiss. That's what they're thinking. No girl is like, oh, I really just hope we have a goodbye kiss. That's going to be super exciting. That's but that's like this cultural phenomenon from watching it in How I Met Your Mother and all these TV shows. The goodnight kiss. That's the goal. Who gives a fuck about a goodnight kiss? Let go of that. Who gives a fuck? Your goal, if you like her, if you're attracted to her, what you should be moving towards is getting her to your place. There's my Uber Eats. They actually found it. Hey, there's someone actually was able to find it.
Close it up?
But anyway, is that you actually have to make some kind of ask. You actually have to move it forward in some way, and you should constantly be leading. That applies to earlier in the day too. You get coffee, you go on the Ferris wheel, whatever. Then, hey, let's go on a walk. Right? You take her, you keep momentum, keep it moving, and then eventually you make sure that you actually invite her back to your place. Now, the other thing, we don't have time to talk about it because this is already going on too long for YouTube standards. But the other thing is how to keep the conversation going, how to keep it interesting.
Well, we have so many videos on that too.
Yeah.
You can actually put a card up in the corner and it'll actually.
So we're going to have to cut that part out. But all right, so what you can do in my book, that's where I was going to go with it. In my book, there's a chapter about first dates, and it has a whole section about how to keep the conversation interesting, what topics to talk about. It has a game called the question game that you can use as basically, what would you call it? Like scaffolding or crutches as a way to make sure the conversation doesn't fall into interview mode, because that is one of the most common reasons that dates fall flat, is that it's just an interview. It's like a logical discussion. You want to make sure you're talking about emotional things. You're talking about sexual topics, about controversial topics, about things that have some edge and that are exciting. And a lot of guys don't know how to do that. And the question game is a very easy way to make sure that your interactions, that your dates have that energy. And you can click the link below to get your copy.
Yeah, perfect. All right, motherfuckers, peace out. I got nothing left.
Don't you have another topic?
Oh, I do. So here.
Ooh, some thoughts.
Man, I'm getting a lot of messages from like clients right now. Hey, does August still a go? Yeah, of course.
What's the next topic?
All right, let me check. The truth is, you don't want to get laid.
Yeah, like
Yeah, me too. Well, that's such a thing that a lot of guys think that they want, but they really don't.
Android versus iPhone. Yeah, that's your biggest sticking point, bro. Is
Android.
You don't have an iPhone and therefore you can't get laid. That's the cause of all your problems.
He understands. He understands.
There's a dating coach, Evolution Daily. He says you need an iPhone to get laid. He actually said that.
Me and my Android.
Well, yeah, you're probably paying for hookers.
Me and my Android getting like fucking like, wait, who said that? Wait, what coach said that?
Evolution Daily. Yeah, he is. No offense.
I feel bad because
he takes a lot of action. I appreciate that part about him. Well, his nonverbal communication is good. It's better than average, but his his understanding of game, his verbal game, his logic is like, I don't know. I feel like he has a 50 IQ or something. Like he's just really unaware.
Yeah, I get that sense too.
Like he does his videos shirtless for no reasons, thinking that's like more appealing. No one wants.
He's been doing that for a long time too.
No one wants to see that.
Yeah, he really does like shooting his videos shirtless. I didn't even think about that. Huh. Okay.
I hope he sees that. And then he'll like double down. He'll just do him completely naked, probably.
Okay. All right. Moving on. All right.
But I bet he does pull a decent amount just because he is always going for it. Takes a lot of action.
And
that is underrated. But some people don't learn, though. They never get out of intermediate purgatory because they don't learn from their mistakes. They're not thinking, what could I do better? And that's what he's an example.
It makes me wonder sometimes if some people just don't have the intelligence or maybe like the know-how to like.
I think self-awareness, too much ego.
Self-awareness. Yes. Ego does fuck you up, which is actually what's the topic of the next topic. That one actually is a good point. All right. So, all right. Talking shit about androids and shit. Okay. So the truth of the matter is that you don't want to get laid. I've known a lot of people in the industry and I've coached way too many guys, and I've had it myself where I was younger and I knew how to make a girl like me after doing so many approaches. I knew how to talk, how to think, how to feel to make a girl into me. And yet I would still fuck it up. I had this dark thing where I would go out to talk to girls and be like, I'm just going to get rejected by 3 girls. I'll go out and just, I'm just going to let the first one reject me. You know what? Maybe the second one and the third. And then I get this kind of dark feeling, like this dark happiness within me of like, yes, I am the dark worm. And we've had a lot of clients where they think they want to get laid, but they don't want to get laid as much as they want to avoid negative emotions, as much as they want to avoid having to change or be something different, be a different guy, be a different individual, to take action and take control of their lives. They'd rather just stay a virgin. They'd rather not get laid. They'd rather not get the high quality girl that they thirst for, that they know would change their lives. And it's absolutely ridiculous. I've seen it so much where guys think they want something, but not as much as they want another. They think they want something, but they don't want it as much as they want to avoid the pain of change. So for you as an individual watching this video, it's a tough thing to have to change yourself. For me personally, the thing that helped out a lot was consistent action over a long period of time. Little markers, little points of interest, little changes in your mannerisms, little changes in your habits, little by little, not trying to change everything at once. You're not going to be Ryan Gosling at the end of a week, but you can change one thing about yourself. You can change one habit. You can get yourself out there. Maybe you walk away prematurely from a conversation. I've had that happen so much with clients where they complain about the fact that they leave conversations too early. To me, I don't think it's that big a deal. If it is such a big thing that if you're at the end of the night and a girl loves you and you walk away, that is a problem where a girl's all over you and thirsting for you. If you're in a negative interaction where the girl hates you and saying, fuck off, leave me alone, that one, I mean, leave. But if a girl likes you, if she wants to fuck you and you walk away, that's something to look at. And as an individual, as somebody watching this video, if that is you, take it one step further. If you're having that feeling of walking away, give it another minute. Look at your watch, give it 1 minute before you can leave.
So every time that I have chemistry with a girl, it's going well. And then I get the number when I know I could have gotten more,
Mhm.
or let's say I left early.
Yeah.
What would happen through my mind is I'd say, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
First of all, I let myself down. I let her down. I could have given her the night of her life. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off that I failed myself in that way, that I just, took the easy little win instead of actually going for it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of actually seeing what could have happened. And I get pissed off at myself. And I think that's what a lot of guys are lacking, is they don't want to get laid and they feel apathetic about it, right? So they have that interaction like, yeah, well, whatever. Get the fuck pissed off. You need some motivation, right?
Yeah.
You need something to cause you to take action, to push yourself, because it's hard. Your ego is in the way, right? If you're always leaving interactions early, your ego is a barrier that's in the way. And to overcome that, you have to have some kind of emotion, some kind of leverage, some kind of drive that is stronger than your ego. So getting pissed off every time you fail is one way to do that. And that also goes on a deeper level. There's just the whole entire idea. Are you even trying to do game? Are you even doing game?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, do you even lift, bro? Are you doing game? The answer for 98% of people, no. You're not. You're not trying. You've told yourself you're trying. I don't have time because I have a full-time job. I remember at one point I had a 40-hour-a-week job. I was taking the maximum amount of credits in college. I was going to the gym 4 times a week, which I should get back to, but that's separate. And I still went out 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Right? I still found the time because I was willing to give up Netflix, watching How I Met Your Mother again for the 30th time, or It's Always Sunny for the 20th time. I was willing to give that up to meet girls, right? I was emotionally invested in the idea. I was pissed off at myself. I was pissed off at my lifestyle. I wasn't like, it's okay. Someday I'll get this. No, you need to realize that most people don't. Most guys, what happens?
They give up.
They settle for a fucking 4, maybe a 5, whose personality is a 2. Yeah. They convince themselves they're in love with her because that's all they could get, because they had no options, because they didn't learn pickup, or they didn't, you could become famous, whatever route. They didn't do something to take proactive control. And then what ends up happening is they convince the one girl that liked them, who is, like big,
a troll.
who's a troll. They convince themselves she is not Mordor. She's an elf. And then they end up in a relationship. Look around you. Look at your friends. Maybe look at your parents. Are they examples of that? Yeah. Right? Did they choose the best option they could have gotten, or did they settle? Most people settle. So you need to be pissed off at that and realize you're not doing game. You don't want to get laid, and you have to not accept that, right? That's not an acceptable way to be. That's not what being a man is.
I've seen there was actually a lot of dating coaches out there. And I mean, the majority of dating coaches, they get to a certain level and they stop improving. They stop the intelligent effort, and they never sit down and think, how can I get better results? Because there's always something you can do to improve your results. And they get themselves in this fucking ditch, and they rationalize the reasoning for being here. A lot of this video that you guys are watching right now is about ego. They get stuck in an ego, in a certain way of being. And now trying to convince them that ego is not healthy for them and they need to move to another level, because they invested so much energy into this ego. You cannot convince them to evolve. That might be you watching this video. To be fair, that's the majority of you guys watching this video. You get to a certain level and you stagnate, you stall, and you stop. I got to that level where I stagnated and stopped. I got frustrated. I got pissed. I was working, like him, I was working 70 hours a week at selling cars, and I went out 4 days a week. I just kept going out. And I didn't sleep that much, to be fair. And I was getting cranky, but I found a way to figure it out. I found a way to move past that shit. And a lot of guys don't get that leverage. It's hard to get that leverage.
I'd rather be cranky and moving in the direction I want to in life than peaceful, comfortable, and a fucking derper, right? Someone who's just like, oh, I'm just going through life like a zombie. I'm a leaf in the wind. Fuck that. I'd rather be stressed and actually have something to be proud of, like be someone who I know I'm going for what I want in life. I'm aligned with my purpose. I'm going to be much more satisfied with life if that's the only 2 options.
Well, how many guys? All right. So there's so many guys that will come on a boot camp, for example, or who will meet in public, or we see in the comment section below each of our videos, that are just stuck in negativity. They're victimhood oriented as opposed to winner oriented. And they cannot pull out of this bullshit. They're looking at all the reasons why they can't instead of the reasons why they can. And that you don't understand this. That negativity is like a hit of heroin. And they get addicted to their heroin and they cannot uproot themselves. And the worst part is it's so much more subtle than taking heroin that nobody is willing to pull them out of this. And it's like there's so many people that get in that deep, dark ditch, and they bury themselves so deep, and they can't see the light anymore. They don't know there was ever a positive emotion in their life, or there is anything positive about life in general. Like, and then you try to convince them you can improve in this. No, you fuck. They're like, no, you fucking can't. I'm a dark worm. I'm short. I'm this. I'm Asian. I'm blah blah blah. And there's no fucking helping that guy at that point unless he actually decides that he wants to improve. I can't help you. Nobody can. You're the only person who can help yourself.
The first step is self-awareness. Funny enough, it's the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous, but that applies to this as well, is to realize there is a problem. So the first thing is you have to be open-minded enough to say, okay, maybe it's because I'm Asian. Maybe it's because I'm short. Maybe it's because my face is ugly, whatever. But do I know that for a fact? Have I put in 10 out of 10 effort and maximized everything under my control? Or is it possible that maybe having these excuses makes me feel better and gives me an excuse to be lazy? Maybe the human brain is designed to be biased towards laziness. We feel good. We feel comfortable when we have excuses because we have this inherent desire to avoid effort. And maybe that's what's ruling me. And when you can ask that question, maybe it's something else. I don't know for certain because we're all pretty stupid. That's one thing people don't realize. We're just not logical. Like, especially men, especially in the red pill, they're like, women are emotional, men are logical. No one's logical. You think you're logical, but you rationalize your emotions with supposed logic, right? We're not nearly as smart as we think we are. And as soon as you can admit, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know everything, right? Socrates says the quote, the more I know nothing. Once you come with that mindset of, I have my ideas, I have my theories, but have I really tested them? Have I really experimented? No. Have I approached 100 women to see if, even though I'm a little worm, short, or whatever, did I prove my theories or did I test my theories? No, you just decided that you know based on reading. Is reading enough to know the truth? Is watching a video enough to know the truth? Should you trust what we say in our videos 100% without testing them? No. You have to test them yourself. You have to have that mindset of, I don't really know and I want to find out. And so the key is to do some kind of self-evaluation and to look for your own blind spots, look for your weaknesses. It's like when you have a funnel, there can be a bottleneck in that funnel, something that stops everything else. If you have a computer, this is a nerdy analogy. If you have a computer and you have a great processor, but you have like a 12-year-old video card, you're not going to be able to play video games, right? It's the same thing with a game. Maybe your looks are really good, but you don't do any approaches. Or maybe you don't have good pictures on Tinder, so you're still not getting any matches, even though you're good looking, things like that. So you have to become aware of what your blind spots are. In my course, God Mode, I have a module that actually takes you through that process step by step. It asks a bunch of questions that you answer to yourself that guide you to find out what is actually holding you back from getting results from pickup. Why aren't you getting laid? And the chances are it's not what you think it is. Right? Everyone thinks it's something static, it's something objective, or I am going out and approaching, but they all reject me. But there's something you're doing in your approaches that you're not aware of. Like, you've had so many boot camp clients. How many of them, like, they're like, I don't know why they don't like me. I don't know what, and you see they're not even looking at the girl in the fucking eye.
I've had a lot of guys who start complaining about having some kind of reason why they can't improve. Like, they're like, I can't improve because it's something that I can't control. Race, height, dick size, whatever the fuck that is.
Which is too late when they find that one out.
Yeah.
You know, it's too late.
Well, and then like you start watching them approaching, and the guy's like this negative, warm, like, hi, please like me. And you're like, dude,
It's Gollum, Smeagol.
I've never seen a guy who's complained about something like that and not had some like, he's like, hey, how's it going? Like, building rapport with his tone, sound like a salesman. Like, I've never talked to a guy that was complaining about something that did not have everything fixed beforehand, and he's already complaining. It's like, I've heard people complain. I've heard people complain about this, that, things that are completely out of their control, and they have no proof of that actually being the case of stopping them from getting girls. And yet, even then, they're like, this is definitely the fucking reason why I'm not improving. And they never fucking fixed all the other shit. How do you expect to improve? Like, so for me, it took me years to get good at this and a lot of fucking effort. And I mean, more effort than I actually ever expected. There were so many times I wanted to give up, and I kept pushing. And eventually I started getting better with women. And I just think that, man, I had so many excuses. And I think that there's so many guys out there that just didn't expect it to be so much work. You expect it to be easy because you're like,
which is partly the fault of marketing.
Yeah.
Right? Marketers who say, like, the most popular dating course ever was one where it said, never get rejected again and have girls approach you. Perfect 10s too. And it's so hard to be like, oh, well, that I don't want that.
Yeah.
And so we do get this bias towards thinking it's supposed to be very easy because what sells a product?
Things being easy.
Things
and
being
effortless.
easy.
Yeah.
God damn, it was so
Well,
hot here, apparently.
we can cut it off.
No, well, we gotta do like a outro.
No. Well, I cut it off like that.
Please say click the link below
Mhm.
and subscribe, bitches. Man, Vegas is so hot that my camera's overheating indoors.
Well, can we leak?
Yeah.
Well, here, let's turn on the AC for a little bit. Let it.
Damn it.
Yeah, here, just turn on the AC for a little bit. Let's just hang out with the guys for a little
Yeah, I
bit.
guess answer the comments for a couple minutes and then we'll.
Yeah, all 5 of them. Android versus iPhone, and I'm gonna get that one. So I recently had a breakthrough when it comes to my new self. How long should I just sit where I am to internalize this identity before moving on to the next? I don't think you should even focus on that. I think you should honestly just immediately start working on new things. Yeah, like definitely maybe try to solidify it. But I mean, that if you already had the breakthrough, that's great. I feel like changing your personality on occasion is like dragging a boulder with a rubber band. You pull it, you start pulling the rubber band, and you start getting a lot further. But then maybe the boulder rolls an inch or two, but then you slam back and hit the boulder again, and you're like, "Fuck!" Well, now it's time to start over again. And so then you start dragging the boulder again, and then you maybe move it an inch or two, and then you slam back into the rock again. That's a big portion of changing who you are and your identity. If you really want to change your identity really fast, start traveling, start moving to different places, start switching out friends, start finding new friends that you can switch up identities with. And by doing that too, you'll move into a new identity because you don't have people holding you back. You don't have places where you have old habits or cues for the habits, and you can like create a new identity based on your new belief system. Making sure I'm hearing you. I enjoy bettering myself, but I'm not trying to actually get results. Well, I don't see the point in doing that, man.
Let's see if we can get it.
I don't see the point in doing that.
Well,
To me, that doesn't make like.
And then we can answer that because this might die
What's
in a second.
what's the point of you wanting to change if you're not trying to get actual results?
Yeah, it's
Like,
stupid.
yeah, if you're trying to better yourself, I mean, it obviously is for some kind of.
I'm gonna start a business. And I'm not going to try to make any money, but I'm just going to put hundreds of hours of work into it.
Yeah.
Just for the betterment of civilization. Great. Good for you.
Well,
but
to be fair,
you should get something out of it too.
I do go out with like the intent of making friends /
but that's an outcome.
Yeah. But like, yeah, exactly. But my underlying idea is that I am also trying to get girls, but I'm tricking myself so I can get the girls. So it's like a convoluted kind of like a self-lying mechanism I'm using so I can let go of the outcome so I can get the girls.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So So we'll wrap up the video, do the YouTube outro shit. Okay. So click the link below to learn more about my course God Mode, where you can get access to that, the self-evaluation that I was talking about. And then make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. With that being said, peace.
Or unsubscribe or dislike.
Comment, hate, love.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
Okay.
You guys seem
lesbians.
No, I've never. I don't think they exist.
I used to see lesbians approach girls, but that's more like in California.
Oh, lesbians approach girls.
Yeah, they approach in a very, I don't know. I rarely actually see lesbians approach girls.
No, it's very rare. There's actually like no lesbian bars, partly because nothing would happen.
They all just like sit at the bar.
It's like because there's no lesbians.
They wait for each other.
Nothing would happen. Yeah.
They just all be sitting at the bar, like waiting for somebody to buy them a drink and confused, go home crying.
Yeah.
Which actually is a video that happened recently. There's a girl that was out approaching at bars and nobody approached her. She sat at the bar because she was going to the bar to approach guys. But then she's like, I'm gonna sit at the bar, wait for guys to approach me. Then when no guy approached her, she left the bar crying.
That's so that's why you got to approach, bro.
Yeah.
All right, I got to meet my client in 30 minutes. We should probably wrap up.
Well, we can
now
stop.
and-
We can stop now, or do you want?
Yeah, and then we can maybe do more later.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Peace.
Bye.
Oh, by the way, Android versus iPhone was actually a good question. I was messing around. All right, peace. It wasn't, but I think he's fucking around. He's not being serious.
Well, then he won't be mad at our unserious answer.
I see a lesbian taking a boot camp on YouTube.
Nice. I'd give a lesbian a boot camp.
I'd give a lesbian a boot
They're
camp.
hot.
Well, I give a lesbian a boot camp, but
special
girls
extra
don't
lessons.
girls don't invest in dating. as much. They invest like when they hit their 30s and 40s. That's when girls invest in
Yeah,
dating.
some 30s are hot.
I don't think I've ever seen a girl in her 20s ever invest in dating ever, other than like hitting the gym,
Matthew Hussey.
work on their booty.
They watch.
How many girls from Matthew Hussey actually?
Dating advice for women is very
If
popular.
you watch this crowd, all the girls on like, but they're all over 30. Look at this crowd; they're all over 30 because they're all like they hit their wall, and now like maybe I should start developing a personality.
You know who dated Camila Cabello? He
No.
dated Camila Cabello or whatever her name is. That super famous